Hi, I'm Sean Angus and I study a Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in Finance and minoring in Economics.
Hi, I'm Bella Sigley. I study a Bachelor of Commerce, majoring in Accounting and Finance.
And we're here to interview John Berry, who is the CEO at Pathfinder. Kia ora, John.
Kia ora, Sean and Bella. Good to be here.
What did you study at university and how did that prepare you for life in the real world?
What did I say at university? I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I kept my options open, which was commerce and law degree. This was several years ago, it was a number of years ago, but how did it prepare me? I think it prepared me in terms of both on the commerce side, the financial knowledge and the analytical skills, and on the law side, the ability to question and find solutions to problems. So I think both of them as a combination were fantastic.
So what do you think will be the biggest differentiating factor for graduate job applicants over the coming years?
I think over the coming years what's becoming increasingly important is EQ skills. So not just intelligence and the ability to understand numbers, but also skills around dealing with people, leadership skills, emotional intelligence are really important and are being looked at quite deeply by employers. And I'd also say another thing that's really important is being memorable and being being different and standing out in a really positive way. You just need to think about how you can present yourself in a way that's going to be positive and add value to a business.
How do you think Pathfinder's portfolios are going to rebalance and change in the future?
That's interesting actually, looking out into the future. Things will continually change, like social values change, the way we invest changes, we're getting better data, we're getting better disclosure. I think we will embed more around climate change in our business. We're looking at transition risk and carbon intensity of companies already, but we're getting better data every year. Also on with animal welfare concerns, animal treatment, animal exploitation, I think will become a big investment theme in the future, and we'll take that further. And I suppose thirdly as well, people want to invest positively, and they also want to know their investments are having an impact, and I think we'll see more for us and other managers just see more measurement around the positive impact that investments are having.
So how do you overcome that issue of diverging ESG ratings across providers?
Yeah, no, it's a good question because it is really tough. There are different providers that have different methodologies and often provide different answers to ESG scoring, environmental, social and governance scoring. How we deal with that, you've got to work the best you can with the data you've got. I think one advantage we have is we have Kate on our team who is an environmental scientist. So we don't just have people with financial skills, we have someone who's got climate and environmental skills as well to help us interrogate the ESG data. But I suppose that's the answer. You've just got to, don't take numbers at face value, you've got to draw behind them and do your own research as well as taking external data.
What would be 3 life lessons you'd like to share with us?
3 life lessons. Things, and being at the university today at Otago and just generally hanging out with younger people, my kids' friends who are on their early 20s, young people have incredible energy in New Zealand, and I would just say to young people, be bold, think big, be ambitious, try lots of stuff. Don't be afraid of trying new things and seeing if you enjoy it, see if you're good at it. You'll learn stuff from it. And I suppose one of the most important lessons for me was when we were setting up the business and we're doing things differently in terms of the social enterprise model we're using, our B-Corp status. Sometimes you think you might be a bit mad because some people are telling you this is not a good idea, no one's going to be interested in investing in this way, or you're doing things differently to everyone else, why don't you just do what everyone else is doing, it's much safer. I would just say to people, you're not always mad when you're doing things differently, and sometimes people just see the world differently and in a better way, to be honest, and if you're one of those people, fantastic, run with it.
So what attributes do you look for in graduates coming through?
We want smart people, but we want people that will fit in culturally as well. So cultural fit is really, really important to us. We think about, are they thinkers? Are they aligned with our purpose as a business? Are they purpose-driven as individuals? So all those things which you can't measure through tests, you can measure through interacting with people and trying to understand them and their motivations.
What keeps you awake at night?
what keeps me is I sleep pretty well, which is good news. But if stuff is going to keep me awake, either before we launched our KiwiSaver, I believed in the idea so much it literally kept me awake at night, and my head was going a million miles an hour, and I'd wake up at 2 a.m. and write things out and keep ideas going. And it was actually at the point I had to build this thing because it was literally exploding inside me. And so that, passion can keep you awake, or worries can keep you awake. So when COVID hit last year, international markets took a massive hit. So share markets, New Zealand, around the world, currencies were volatile. I lost sleep over that because we have the responsibility of managing money for people's retirement, and it's a huge responsibility. You want to get it right. So that kept me awake.
Now, who would be someone that you look up to and why?
People I look up to, I think there's some really cool people in New Zealand who are doing really cool stuff, and I'm going to mention 2 people, Frances Valentine, who runs Mine Lab in Auckland, and Anya Santinian, who's one of the directors of Pathfinder, and she is the CEO of Leadership New Zealand, and I admire both of them for their thinking about the future differently. They're trying to educate and lead people to think about a different age era and think deeply about issues like climate change and social equity, and I have a lot of respect for that.
How do you balance your work and life commitments?
People talk about work and personal commitments, people talk about work-life balance, and because I love my job and I'm passionate about the work we're doing, Richard Branson talked about work-life integration, which is actually not trying to separate your work from, and actually that's at times a little bit unhealthy, that you actually need to have boundaries and you need to have separation. So look, I've got a family. I've got 2 boys that are 20 and 21. I want to spend time with them and my wife. So you've got to, and I'm not the best in the world in it because I do work in the weekends and I do work in evenings, but you've just got to put time aside for what's important in your life.
And to finish up, what would be one piece of advice you'd like to pass on to our soon-to-be graduates?
One piece of advice. One piece of advice I would pass on is you've got to take some risks in life. You've just got to take sensible risks. You've got to be open to new ideas, try new things, and it involves risk-taking. You can't always take the safe path. Good stuff will happen if you get out there and try stuff and take a few risks.
Well, John, I'd like to thank you very much for your time today. I think we've had some really valuable insights, and we wish you all the best with Pathfinder in the future.
Awesome, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you both. Thank you.